welcome back to Cincinnati.
Thank you.
Novak, please tell us what you've been up to since the Wimbledon final.
A lot of family time, resting and preparation for the tournaments here on American soil. It's been 2 years since I was last in America, so of course I'm very excited and was very much looking forward to come. I haven't been in Cincinnati since 2019, so nice to be back. Lots of young fans that I've seen the last couple of days on the practice courts, which is always great to see, and you know, people love their tennis, and for me as a player, of course, it's always a pleasure and honor and fun, obviously, to be out there and receive that much support and that much attention. So, you know, I look forward to compete this week.
Any questions, anyone?
Hi, Novak. What's the reflection been like the last few weeks for you? And maybe you don't reflect on it, the Wimbledon final and the challenge that it offered you. How do you and your team go about looking at the challenge that Carlos presented that day, obviously? And is there anything, Novak, that you feel like you learned specifically from
well, I mean, obviously, it's not the first, neither the last match that I lost. So, you know, you know, I was over it in a day. You know, obviously, I needed some really good rest after that and some time with my family, and that's what I did. So, of course, I was, you know, regretting for not using the chances during that finals. I was set up and had some set points in the second, and I felt I was close to, you know, close to being the lead, and then obviously some break points in the fifth. It was a close match, but, you know, well deserved from his side because to win, because he played better in the important moments, and you know, that's what I said after the finals. I think he was a deserved winner, and that's it, really. Pretty much, you know, you move on. As I said, not the first, not the last Grand Slam, neither the match that I lost, and I need to, you know, obviously move on and try to regroup and find motivation for what's coming up and all the challenges that are ahead of me, and that's why I'm here. Otherwise, you know, if I'm not motivated, I wouldn't be here. You know, after many years of professional tennis, I feel like, you know, I have choice to play what I really want to play, and I really wanted to be here in Cincinnati, and of course, US Open around the corner. That is a fourth and the last Grand Slam of the year, the tournament that, you know, counts for me the most at this last, you know, 4 or 5 months of the season.
Thanks. Over the last few months here in Cincinnati, one of the topics of conversation has been the possible relocation of this tournament to Charlotte, North Carolina. Can I get your thoughts on a potential move, and if you would like to see the tournament stay here in Cincinnati?
Yeah, I've heard some rumors, but obviously they're rumors. So unless something officially comes out, it's difficult to comment on something that is unofficial and it's a rumor. We know that tournament has had a history here, a pretty long history. Many generations of different champions and legends of our game, both on men's and women's side, have played in Cincinnati. So, of course, you know, if that move was to be made, it definitely wouldn't be that easy for different generation of tennis fans that have been following this tournament live and of course on the TV for many years. Yeah, but let's see. You know, I guess it's not in our hands. You know, I guess have to wait and see what decision will be made.
I know that. I'm writing a piece about sliding and on hard courts, and you're obviously the person to ask about it. So just wondering if you remember when it was that you just decided to incorporate sliding into your game, and particularly open stance on the backhand, and if over the years you've actually kind of worked on it and adapted the actual slide in your game.
I think I mentioned this a couple of times throughout my career that I think I owe skiing very early on in my childhood days a great deal of favor for my sliding, because I feel like skiing helped a lot with mobility and flexibility of my ankles. And I come from a family of professional skiers. My father and his sister and his brother were professional skiers. They were competing, so I used to spend quite a bit of time in the mountains, and I skied a lot. And obviously also trying to be as barefoot as much as I possibly can. When I was a kid, you know, my parents, you know, were encouraging the barefoot walking. So that's, I think, combination of things have allowed me to have the really good flexibility of ankles, which in turn, of course, contributes a great deal to the movement on the court and the sliding motion. You know, if you don't have very flexible ankles, if you have fragile ankles, then you probably think twice if you want to go for an extreme movement like that. But you know, from a very young age, I was sliding, to be honest. I grew up playing mostly on clay. Then I translated that kind of particular movement to hard court, even grass, which is not recommended, but you know, it happens. And so, yeah, it has become like a trademark, you know, especially that backhand stretch, sliding, you know, I guess passing shot. And it has helped me a great deal, you know, throughout my career.
Hi. First practice at full stadium. Do you notice something like that often, or is it special?
It was amazing, to be honest. You know, I made a joke with my coach. You know, I asked him whether we are on the right court. You know, because we thought it's a match. He actually said he thought it is a match happening because it's a match court. But yeah, it's really amazing. I'm very grateful for the presence of so many people on a practice session, which is amazing. Again, I did experience, you know, in some tournaments throughout the world, you know, similar atmospheres in terms of great attendance on the practice courts. But I guess for a while, nothing of this, you know, I guess intensity in terms of the presence and the participation of the crowd on the practice court. Practice points that we played today, the atmosphere was great. People were really into it. As I mentioned before, lots of young fans, which is always something I wish to see. Yeah, that gives me even more, I guess, inspiration to play my best tennis in the tournament.
Hi, Novak. You mentioned first time in the U.S. in a couple of years. Do you look back on all that, and you know, there are some records that you achieved in that time anyway, not being able to come here and some other places. Kind of, how do you look back on that?
You know, throughout my life, I really, you know, I guess developed this kind of mindset that I don't look back with regret on things. You know, I might feel, as I've said earlier on the Wimbledon question, that I feel like a day or two, you know, it's a pity that I maybe haven't played this way or that way, but that's related to the tennis performance. The things that were happening outside, the reason why I was not here for 2 years is I have zero regret on that. So I'm just glad to be back. You know, I've had plenty of success on the American soil with Indian Wells, Miami, you know, obviously Canada, and here won many times this Master 1000 events, all of them, and of course US Open as well, being the pinnacle of the hardcourt season. I'm just excited, you know. I like the feeling that I have, you know, after, as I said, you know, 20+ years of professional tennis. There's still fire going, you know. There's still that drive and motivation to really come at the biggest tournaments in sport and try to win, you know, try to win titles and try to bring some good, I guess, sensation to the crowds.